7 days for under $10 a day. There are 2 college football games Tuesday night, 4 NFL and 2 college football games on Thanksgiving, 16 college football games on Black Friday, plus a full Saturday and Sunday of college football and NFL action. Add in any NBA, college basketball, and NHL action, and it's an awesome week of sports. We are so very thankful that you are current or maybe a new client of Wager Talk, and we want to give you our best once-a-year price for a 7-day all-sport, all-access package. Enjoy the holiday with family and friends, and don't worry about missing plays throughout the week if you're traveling. That's right, only $69 for 7 full days of college football, NFL, NBA, college hoops, NHL, and any other plays your favorite Kappa releases. Happy Thanksgiving and safe travels for those hitting the road from our Wager Talk family to yours.
Welcome into the NFL opening line report Thanksgiving week. We got 3 games on Thursday. We got a full slate on Sunday. I am Drew Martin, joined by Teddy Covers each and every Monday. This is the NFL opening line report. Teddy, welcome in, buddy. Happy Monday morning to you.
Monday, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. Please be safe, be happy, be good this holiday season, all that kind of stuff. But great to be here, Drew. Happy Turkey Day to you, my friend.
Absolutely. Back at you, Teddy. And yes, be safe, be merry with your family, and let's cash some tickets, get on the right side of some of these NFL moves. We got the Monday Nighter. Let's quick hit it first here, Teddy. New York Football Giants at the Tampa Bay Bucs, the defending Super Bowl champions. Laying 11, though, the ultimate equalizer here, laying doubles in Raymond James. We got a total of 50. Anything quickly on tonight's Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I mean, the sharp money's coming for the Giants in this ballgame. They're 10.5s at many books. This was as high as 12.5 at the opener and has been bet down. So we're seeing, and the Giants, of course, have been good road dogs in the Joe Judge era, and Tampa's injury report isn't necessarily pretty. That being said, the Bucs are off a bye, back-to-back losses, and from every quote that I've read, that's a focused team going into tonight's game. I don't want the dog in this one, but the markets do right now. Again, there's 10.5s all over the place in this game with 10.5, 11. If you want the Giants, make sure you get an 11. If you want Tampa, make sure you're laying 10.5. Every half point matters.
Getting the best of the number. Important part of this business is the NFL opening line report, guys, starting right now, Thursday, November 25th. Happy Thanksgiving out there. 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. We are seeing -3 in the hook right now. That's the Bears as the short road favorite here, Teddy. 41.5 the total in the Motor City.
Look-ahead line was Bears -3, total of 45. And, of course, with the look-ahead lines, these are the bettable numbers from last week. I use the Westgate Superbook as my source for the look-ahead lines. There are a couple other books out there that have them. That being said, you want to know what the line was before this week's games to be able to judge what the reaction was. My powering number is obviously based on my powering number after yesterday's games were played. And the look-ahead line was 3, and my powering number for this game is 3 with Goff. With Boyle. Boyle's not an NFL quarterback. Not that Goff is anything special, but they're actually, I didn't know the offense could get worse. Detroit ran the football yesterday with no quarterback play against a good run defense, which is certainly a positive sign. The defense hung tough in Pittsburgh, and they hung tough in Cleveland. The run game worked 2 weeks in a row. Boyle 15-23 for 77 yards and 2 picks in his first NFL start. A guy that came in with 4 career pass attempts against the Bears defense. That's likely to be a problem. But Chicago's season ended yesterday. They converted the 4th and 11 to get the game-winning touchdown pass. Andy Dalton chucks one downfield and they get it. And then the defense can't hold Huntley and the Ravens on the final drive. Give up 3 big pass plays and a pass interference call and end up losing the game at the end there. And the difference between 4-6 and 3-7 for Chicago is huge. 4-6, they got a shot to do something. Their schedule lessens down the stretch. At 3-7, the hot seat is getting hotter for Nagy and company. Of course, the Bears team without Khalil Mack, without Hakeem Hicks, or without Allen Robinson, all of whom didn't play yesterday. Linebackers Alex Ogletree after the game We have to find a way to correct our mistakes and do the right things. Good luck with that, laying 3.5. It's a hard game for me. But in terms of where the number's going, we're not going to see a bevy of Lions money. We're not going to see a bevy of Bears money. This one likely to sit in the 3.5 range between now and kickoff.
Yeah, Boylan at quarterback for Detroit. It's always interesting to see a UConn quarterback making his way. I didn't know that. Teddy, it's just wild to see those type of quarterbacks, fight through it. Practice squad, make it all the way to the NFL. Kind of a good story. We got next game up here: Las Vegas Raiders, Dallas Cowboys. We're seeing the Cowboys -7-point home favorites, 51 being the total. Talk about teams, season ending. Las Vegas, they're 5-5, but man, yesterday wasn't pretty. Can they bounce back here, Teddy?
Yeah, look at line here. Dallas -7, 54.5. My power number is 8, and the markets are at 7 and 50.5 in this ballgame. A little bit, perhaps, respect for the Cowboys' defense after a solid showing yesterday against Kansas City. Not so much, perhaps, for a Cowboys' offense that was way out of sync in that ballgame. I mean, let's start with this. All right. I'm not seeing the market showing signs yet. And yet, I'd almost, this isn't an emergency, so we're not going to give it an emergency betting alert, but this number's going to go up. All right. I like to give the emergency betting alerts when you got to do it right now. And frankly, I wouldn't wait too long to get involved with Dallas at -7 if you want the Cowboys. But I can't imagine we're going to see a Raiders team, again, rookie head coach on a short week off a devastating loss. And, that was a season-changing loss for the Raiders. It was a 3-point game in the fourth quarter, and it all fell apart for them. Bisaccia, we had penalties in critical situations, extended drive for them against another defense. We have to look at how the penalties actually hurt us and why our offense is out of sync right now. Again, this team's been outscored 96-43 since their bye week, and they've got a history the last 2 years. They lost 5 and 7 since their 3-0 start. 2019, they were 6-4 to open. They finished 1-5. Last year, they were 6-3 and closed out 2-5. It's not a Raiders team that's likely to get a bunch of market support here. I do anticipate Dallas money. And, of course, it's a Cowboys team that was held to 4.3 yards per play. They were -3 in turnovers and they committed 3 turnovers and went 0-2 in the red zone. Dak Prescott, I'm never discouraged, but pissed off, yeah, for sure. Especially when an opportunity to come out and play against a team that's been in the Super Bowl the last 2 years. We had a chance to show what we're capable of. This is a resilient team who's going to continue to fight and get better. I can tell you that. One would think. Certainly feels like more of a Dallas spot than a Raiders spot on Sunday. If I'm playing, I'm laying in this one. Like I said, I'm not seeing the signs in the market yet, but this line can only go one way. We're not going to see Raiders money between now and kickoff. If you like Dallas, I bet them sooner rather than later.
2 of the 3 Thanksgiving Day games down. Shout out to the chat box. Everybody joining us live right now on the Wager Talk YouTube channel each and every Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. We got Abby in the house, Jeff, Cedric, Ken. We got Z, Susie, all of you guys. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us live. Love to see your comments, where you think these lines are going. And if you're watching on replay, feel free to drop a line below in the comments section. Teddy and myself will be in throughout the week answering any questions. We get the Buffalo Bills, New Orleans Saints in the nightcap on Thursday, -4-point road favorites. There is a couple 4.5s out there. So 4.5, 46.5 being the total. That's the Bills as the road favorite here, Teddy. What do we like it in the Big Easy?
What I want to do right here is get a little emergency betting alert. Look ahead line here. Bills 4.5, total 48. My powering number, Bills 5. The markets are bouncing between 4 and 4.5 this morning. This line can only go up. We're likely to see Buffalo money, especially once the injury report comes out. They could have a couple of guys coming back this week, and all the comments out of the Bills off of the debacle yesterday at home were, yeah, this is not a circle the wagons game necessarily for Buffalo, but it's a game in which they are most assuredly interested. Josh Allen, we're a really good football team. We don't bite ourselves in the butt. What we put on the field today is not who we are. We need to do a better job on all fronts. There's no way around it. But at the same time, it's not panic mode. It's a terrible feeling, but at the same time, we've got to play Thursday. This one's got to be out of our system before tomorrow. Dawson Knox, tight end, quote, You learn a lot from games like this. But we're going to get right back in the film room and get ready for Thursday. I think it's good to have a game coming up quick so we can get that bad taste out of our mouth. Sean McDermott's quote, another one that isn't panicking. It's a journey every season. It's going to ebb and flow. To me, that's part of the challenge, and I love that challenge. Not that you want to lose, but making those adjustments to get our team exactly where it needs to be and learn who you are as a team, and then we can continue to grow and move forward. We'll see where we are after Thursday night. So they're really pointing towards this Thursday night game. Of course, the Bills team that's dropped 3 of their last 5. So it's not like they played good football. Starlo Taleu may be back this week, right? Spencer Brown may be back this week. Jermaine Edwards could be back this week. All of those guys missed, of course, yesterday's game, and they were -4 in turnovers in that contest. As for the Saints, we're getting the same quote out of Sean Payton in recent weeks. It's not exactly the same quote, but it's the same quote. Quote, obviously, we didn't do the things necessary to win on every phase. Turnovers were significant. We struggled to defend that run game, and our return game was just average. All of us have to do a better job. This is a depleted offense right now. You have a backup quarterback. You're missing both starting tackles. You're missing the number 1 receiver. And, Trevor Siemian in the first half, 6 of 18 for 60 yards. And his first 2 interceptions of the season. Play a little better after halftime, but it's not a Saints team that is likely to attract betting market support against a Bills team that many continue to think is the class of the AFC, despite yesterday's loss. I anticipate this line going up. You can find Buffalo -4 right now at many books, not all of them. I'm not convinced that number is going to be there much longer.
Yeah, -4 is out there, guys. We got it in Las Vegas and in the offshore market. So it is findable, widely available. We get top of the card on Sunday, guys. We get the Tennessee Titans and the New England Patriots, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific here, kicking off the Sunday card. Teddy, 44.5. We're seeing -5 and a hook and -6 out there in the marketplace. That's New England as the home favorite. Man, what a month can change in the NFL betting markets. These two teams heading in opposite directions. What are we thinking in New England?
Sure. The look-ahead line here was 2.5 and 46.5. My powering number is 5.5 on the Patriots, and the market's 5.5, 6. And I'm not getting a sense, there's 6s out there. There are not many of them anymore. This isn't one of those you got to run to the window to bet it, whichever side you like in this one. Longest winning streak for New England since their start to 2019. Tom Brady's last year with the Patriots. They started 8-0 that year. Matthew Judon. That was a career best 10.5 sacks already. Quote, we're catching our stride. We're playing with a lot of confidence. J.C. Jackson, the cornerback, had 1 of 4 interceptions yesterday. I feel like we've got one of the best defenses in the league. Bill Belichick. You know what his quote's going to be? Just take it one day at a time here. Just try to keep making the most out of every day. But this is a meaningful quote, I thought, from Devin McCourtney. Quote, as the season goes on, sometimes there's a moment of relaxing or we got it. We found our blueprint. It's hard work, putting in the time, putting in the hours, practicing hard. We can't let that slip up. We have to stick to that. So there's some concern from the veterans on New England that after 5 wins, maybe the attention to detail might not be there. I would anticipate that same level of attention to detail that have gotten the Patriots the last 5 wins to be in this game. And Tennessee, look, I had Houston yesterday. It was a pretty easy winner. But Titans 7-0 against playoff teams from last year. Their 2 losses this opening day. 7-0 versus playoff teams. Their 2 losses have come against the Texans and the Jets. That's one of those you're like, what? But the injury report for Tennessee just gets worse and worse and worse every week. A.J. Brown knocked out of the game yesterday. He hurt his ribs. Marcus Johnson ruled out after he hurt his hamstring in the first quarter. Johnson had a 100-yard receiving game last week, and Brown was on pace for a 100-yard game yesterday. Tannehill, quote, we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot, Turnovers on down, penalties. We shot ourselves in the foot all day. We got to get better. It starts with me. Bud Dupree just went injured reserve. The starting quarterback, Jack Rabbit Jenkins, got scratched. This is a very banged-up football team. Each of their last 3 games has been worse offensively than the previous game. Yeah, this is 2 teams headed in opposite directions right now. Although, from a betting market standpoint, the Titans' season-long profile is going to continue to attract bettors to the Tennessee Tide. This is not This is not a game you have to rush to the window to bet.
Good stuff, Teddy. As we move down the list here, guys, going down in order, rotation order, 253, 254, 1 o'clock Eastern here, Teddy. New York Jets at the Houston Texans. Texans, most surprising team yesterday, at least, -2.5. There is some -3s out there. They're the home team, 44 being the total. What are we liking in Houston, Texas, Teddy?
We got to get the emergency betting alert going for this one. One, there's urgency.
Fired it up.
Look ahead line here was Houston -3 and 46.5. My powering number is only 1.5 on the game. The market's open 3. There are still mostly 3s out there, 3 even money on Houston. I do not anticipate the Texans holding as a 3-point favorite. There will be money for the Jets in this one. If you like the Jets, grab the +3 right now. And yes, Houston was the most surprising game in the NFL yesterday. Although, again, from a situational standpoint, it was an obvious play. And from an injury standpoint, it was an obvious play. And, the clients and I were able to cash with the Texans yesterday. They're +5 turnovers in that game yesterday. They're +5 turnovers in the previous game as well. Last year, this team had 9 takeaways. They've had 10 the last 2 weeks and didn't allow a sack yesterday. And these aren't things that are likely to continue for the Texans. They're really not. And I don't know who's going to start at QB for the Jets. It was Flacco yesterday. Flacco was fine. 24-39, 291, a couple of touchdowns. Elijah Moore had a big day. But they made mistakes. Lots of mistakes. And head coach Robert Saleh was not amused after the loss. Quote, 90% of the games in this league are lost, not won. This one was lost. When you lose by 1 or 50, it doesn't freaking matter. I expect some urgency from the Jets here, and Texans are not a team I want to back off a game where they forced 5 turnovers and won by margin on the road against a divisional rival. One would anticipate Jets money coming in. We've already seen some. I expect we'll see more.
NFC East battle up next, 1 o'clock Eastern. We get the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. We're seeing Eagles -3 or -3.5, kind of depending where you're shopping here, Teddy. 46.5 being the total. Philadelphia at New York.
Yeah, I'm not seeing so many 3s out there anymore for the Eagles. There's a prominent one, but it's mostly 3.5s out there as we speak.
Yeah, you're right.
So let's start with this. Look headline, Philly 3. My powering number, Philly 2.5. Look at total was 46. The markets are at 3.5 this morning, 46.5 as well. There's a significant wise guy support for the Eagles each of the last 2 weeks. Big, sharp money on Philly. And they cashed back-to-back winners. Darius Slay, his 3rd defensive touchdown of the season. They were 12 of 21 on 3rd downs yesterday, always in 3rd and short. 242 rushing yards against the good rush defenses. Sirianni got his first home win in 5 drives in that game. Philly won 2 in a row for back-to-back the first time all year. There's certainly a team that the betting markets are paying attention to and are backing on a week-in, week-out basis. We'll see how the Giants look tonight. If the Giants look good, the Giants give Tampa a game. This game probably closes 3. If the Giants get smacked around by the Bucs, it may well close 4 or higher. Again, there's a groundswell of wise guy support for Philadelphia right now that is worth noting. So if you're making a bet on tonight's game, you may want to bet this one as well at the same time. You bet in Tampa, you bet Philly. You bet in the Giants, you bet the Giants twice. Tonight's game has the potential to have an impact on next week's points.
Speaking of tonight's game, Tampa Bay Bucs, next game up at the Indianapolis Colts. So short week for the Bucs on the road. They are -2 to -3 point favorites, mostly 2.5 out there, Teddy. A little opinion in the marketplace, 51 being the total. What are we thinking here, Teddy?
Yeah, the only 3s that are there's a couple of books that only cater to that ban all the all the winning bettors. So there's a couple of books that cater to recreational players with 3. Everyone else is at 2 or 2.5 on this ball game. Look headline was Tampa 3 and 52. My powering number is Bucs 2.5 on the game. And look, that was impressive for Indy yesterday. their flavor of the week this week, which is certainly a concern. Indy is number one in the NFL in points off turnovers. They have the most fumble recovery. They're the best fumble luck in the NFL this season. They're one of only 2 teams, along with the Giants, that have forced a turnover in every game this season. And of course, you have Jonathan Taylor, who leads the NFL in carries of 10 plus yards or more. He's made more big plays than anywhere. This is a team that's won 5 of 6 to get back into the AFC playoff race. They've been impressive, and they were certainly impressive yesterday. How about this from Jonathan Taylor? 100 yards from scrimmage and scored a touchdown in 8 straight games. That ties the NFL record. LaDainian Tomlinson is one of the 2 guys that did it, and I'll give you $1 million. You can name the other one. I never even heard of this guy. Lydell Mitchell of the Colts in 75, 76. Okay, he did that once. But that's what Jonathan Taylor's doing right now. Of course, he's going to be going against an elite run defense, and he's going against a team that's not likely to turn the ball over a bunch. So if Tampa looks good tonight, this line more likely to go to 3. But Indy's a popular choice right now, and their statistical profile is good. They've developed a little bit of a betting bandwagon, and if they hang with Tampa here, that little bandwagon is going to get a whole lot bigger. That said, do we trust Carson Wentz against the better defenses? Well, let's see what the Bucs secondary looks like. Tampa does have cluster injuries in the secondary. That is definitely a concern, both tonight and next week against Wentz and company. We like Wentz in games where he doesn't have to throw the football, doesn't have to make plays, like was the case against Buffalo yesterday. That's not likely to be the case against Tampa next week.
I like it, Teddy. Good stuff. We got 259-260 up next, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific kick. Atlanta Falcons, Jacksonville Jaguars, 46-47 being the total, 46.5, let's call it, and a pick'em or a -1. That's the Atlanta Falcons as the short road favorite, or a pick'em here in North Florida. What are we liking, Teddy?
So I had a winning day for my clients and I on Saturday, and we had a winning day for the clients and I yesterday. But the one I got wrong yesterday, and boy, I was wrong on this, was the Jags plus the points against the 49ers. Jacksonville was pretty terrible in that ball game. There's no home field edge in Jacksonville right now, and anybody good who cares is going to go in and beat Jacksonville. They could not match the 49ers' physicality, which is not likely to be a problem against Jacksonville. Look at line here was pick'em. My number's Atlanta -1, and the market's, in that same range, -1/pick'em early on today. But, the Jags passing game is getting worse by the week, not better. Midway through the second quarter of that game, the 49ers had run 33 of the game's first 37 plays, and they had more first downs than Jacksonville had total yards. They finished with 200 yards on 44 plays. It's a rough-looking offense right now. Urban Meyer, quote, "You get your butt kicked. There's going to be a day where we don't get our butt kicked here. That's coming, and I know I want to be a part of it." Trevor Lawrence, again, you hear the quotes from Trevor Lawrence every week. Quote, "There's not much left to say. Just got to keep going. Season's not going to get canceled. Didn't look good all the way around. Where you go from here is just keep going to work. Everyone stay together. Keep fighting. I know I will." Injury report for the Jags, ugly. Let's put it this way. There was some quit on Jacksonville yesterday. There were guys didn't want to play against San Fran anymore. Shaq Griffin left the concussion. His starting cornerback, Tyson Campbell, left the shoulder injury. The left tackle, Cam Robinson, left. The safety, Andrew Sisco, left the game. Jamal Agnew, an impact injury for them. They don't have a lot of playmakers. He hurt his leg in the fourth quarter. It might be a bad injury for him. And, Atlanta, well, their last 2 games have been as bad as it gets. Shut out 25-0 by the Pats. Shut out 43-3 against Dallas. Nobody showed up in the New England game. Ryan coming off a 4-sack, 2-interception performance. Arthur Smith, quote, "It feels ugly right now in this moment." Yeah, you obviously feel there. You go there, you get to 4-4, you get a big win. You guys all watch the last 2 games. We've done it before. Like I said, it's continual improvement. You hope not to ride the roller coaster. We got to fix things. We're going to get them fixed. We'll get them fixed in a hurry. I'll have to see if Atlanta gets Cordell Patterson back this week. Obviously, without Calvin Ridley in the lineup, Kyle Pitts has been stymied. And, of course, Atlanta has become the first team since November 2000. Drew, I always look for these because I know you love them. The first team since November 2000 to have 3 quarterbacks picked off in the same game. The last time it happened before Ryan, Felipe Franks, and Josh Rosen all threw interceptions against the Patriots was when Jim Harbaugh, Ryan Leaf, and Moses Moreno threw interceptions in a loss to the Dolphins back in 2000. So it doesn't happen very often in the NFL, what Atlanta just did. All that being said, we're not going to see Jags support here. We're not going to see a whole lot of money bet on this game. This isn't an urgent get to the betting window type of content.
Love the stats, Teddy. Even bringing in the name Ryan Leaf, that's how you know it's good. Teddy going from the Atlanta Falcons, Jacksonville Jaguars to the Carolina Panthers and Miami Dolphins, who have all of a sudden caught a bid here, Teddy. 42.5, 42 is the total. We're seeing Pick'em. That's the Dolphins at home. Some -1s out there as well. That's the Panthers as a short road favorite. So what are we liking here in Hard Rock Stadium on Sunday, Teddy?
Yeah, look ahead line was Carolina -1. My total 43.5. My powering number is Miami -1. And this game has -1 pick 'em written all over it. The markets still aren't going to give the Dolphins a ton of respect. It's not like they've been beating. They had the one win over the Ravens, but beating bottom feeders doesn't necessarily give you a ton of market support. And the Jets gave him a battle yesterday. Although, Tua played a good game again yesterday. And Myles Gaskin's quote, I like as a bet on quote after the game. Quote, it's been a long season. We didn't start out like we wanted to. I think we're just getting more hungry with every additional win. First 3-game winning streaks, they won 5 in a row in the middle of last year. And they're playing a Panthers team. And again, that got a bump from Cam Newton. And Cam Newton's going crazy in the second quarter when they're up by 1 score. And then Cam Newton with the game on the line in the fourth quarter can't convert on 4th down, not once, but twice. And the last one, he's just holding the ball, and gets sacked on that ball game. Cam Newton doesn't know the offense yet. It's very clear. Matt Rule said he stuck with Newton on the final 2 possessions, even though he doesn't know it. Quote, I thought Cam was excellent. From where we are being a week into it, I thought he did a nice job. Worth noting, Panthers have been awful at home and winning games on the road. Dante Jackson. It sucks we play so well on the road, then we come home, we don't play with that same fire. The fans did their part. We didn't do our part. There may well be a sense of urgency for the Panthers this week at 5-6. They're playing for their playoff lives, and the markets might react to that.
Teddy, next game up, Pittsburgh at Cincinnati, NFC North battle here. Man, that Steelers game last night, Sunday Night Football, was a wild one. 45.5 being the total. We're seeing the Bengals -3 in the hook, home favorites here, Teddy. We get Pittsburgh and Cincinnati next game up.
Yeah, the Steelers scored 37 points last night and lost, which, Pittsburgh's not getting a 37 real often. That's something of a concern. It's a Steelers team that has shown all kinds of flaws and yet is still hanging around. Half game behind Cincy. Back-to-back barn burners for Pittsburgh, which does concern me. Had the overtime game and then yesterday's game, which also came back to the wire. Now they play again on the road here. Look-ahead line was Cincy -4 and 46. My powering number is 3.5 on the ball game. The Bengals held the Raiders under 300 yards yesterday, only the second time all year they've done that. Misleading final score. Cincy, that was a who's going to win the game, deep into the fourth quarter, and the Bengals ran them out late after the Raiders made a bunch of mistakes. Zach Taylor, I like this quote. We don't talk a lot about big picture this season, what games we have coming up. We just put ourselves in a position to control our destiny at this point. As long as we take care of our business 1 week at a time, then we'll be in great shape. I don't know if I want to ask the Bengals to beat the Steelers by more than a field goal. I really don't. The markets do right now. But in terms of urgency to bet this one, I'm not seeing it. Certainly not from a side standpoint right now, since he's pretty well locked in at -3.5.
Couple games left here, guys. NFL opening line report style each and every Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. If you're liking the content, guys, please smash that like button. If you're watching on replay, feel free to comment below. Teddy and myself will be in there answering any questions throughout the week. And like always, huge shout out to the chat box. Guys, it's $9 Monday at wagertalk.com. And Teddy has a 5% big ticket play up and available, as well as a free play tonight in the NBA with analysis. Guys, he's 244 and 192. That's 56% winners since week 1 of 2015. So long term here, beating the NFL betting markets. 58% all plays the last 4 weeks. Check them out, Wager Talk or sportsmemo.com. Teddy covers $9 Monday. Next game up here, Teddy, LA Chargers, Denver Broncos. We got -2, -2.5, mostly -2 in the hook here. That's the Chargers is the road favorite, 47 being the total a mile high, Teddy.
Yeah, look headline was Chargers 2.5, total of 48. My powering number is only 1.5 on the game, but again, we're in the 1.5 to 2.5 range. I'm not going to make a bet based on my number came 1.5, and it comes the markets are at 2.5. I'm not convinced this one goes to 3. This isn't one of these games where I'm like, you got to run and bet the Chargers right now. I mean, Denver's coming off a bye, and they're coming off a poorly played game in a bye, a game which their offense coordinator, Pat Shurmur, was out with COVID. Mike Shula called the plays, and it was a debacle from the get-go. And then they had another punt blocked. Although the Chargers had a punt block last night. In fact, it was the only punt of the game got blocked. So they actually finished the game with no punts. 33 first downs, more than 500 yards of offense. Really good performance against that Steelers defense. Don't know if it's going to be quite as easy against Denver off a loss and a bye to get there. And obviously, it's a Chargers team that gave up 37 points to the Steelers, which is something of a concern. But when it comes to red zone efficiency, it's definitely worth noting. The Broncos have had all kinds of problems punching in touchdowns. And the Chargers are putting the biscuit in the basket when they get in the red zone. That could be an advantage for LA here. This line is not coming down, but I'm not convinced it gets to 3, so we're not going to emergency betting alert this one right here. That said, I wouldn't wait if you wanted LA. I'd lay the 2.5 sooner rather than later, even though it's not an emergency to get down on that bet.
Yeah, I like that one, Teddy. I mean, Justin Herbert last night really taking the ball into his own hands, running the football. Maybe prop bets with his rushing yards over. Maybe a look here, guys. We get Minnesota, San Francisco. Next game up, Teddy. We're seeing the 49ers -3 with some juice on that at some sports books. 48 being the total. We'll get the Vikings at the 49ers. Afternoon kick here, 4:25 Eastern, 1:25 Pacific, Teddy. What are we liking here, Vikings and Niners?
Yeah, there were some 3.5s on the board that were worthy of an emergency betting alert, but they've unfortunately already been taken out by and large this morning. So I'm not going to emergency betting alert on Minnesota at the +3.5 because you can't find it anymore, except for at a book or two. Look at line here, San Fran 2.5 and 48. My powering number, San Fran 2.5. And the market's obviously a little bit higher. Today, this is a 49ers team that was -9 in takeaways through their first 8 games. And then the last 2 weeks, they're a +4. So it's made all the difference. You know, when you stop turning the ball over and start creating turnovers, you start winning games and covering point spreads. But, you know, they had one of these team meetings prior to the Rand game. And every quote since then, I mean, I got a bunch of quotes. I don't know how many I'm going to get through. But Garoppolo, these past 14 days, I don't want to say they've changed our team, but we're definitely moving in the right direction right now. We just have got to keep that going. George Kittle, we sat here after the Arizona game, bear in the building type of stuff. Everyone's trying to solve these problems. And we literally said, we got to stop turning the ball over. We got to get a couple of turnovers on defensive special teams. And that's all we've done. That's George Kittle. Linebacker Fred Warner. Coming together at the right time. We're getting to that back half of the season and we're getting hot. I think that's just who we are. I think all along we've been trying to find that identity, trying to find ourselves, and it's starting to show through. All that being said, you know, they beat a Rams team on a flat game before their bye week, and they beat the Jags. So I don't know that I want to give San Fran too much credit. And Garoppolo wasn't good yesterday. All right, you know, this team is the best red zone touchdown percentage in the NFL, and then they opened the game with a 13-minute field goal drive. Go figure. You know, impressive win for Minnesota yesterday. The Vikings have led by a touchdown in every game this season. The only team in the NFL to do that. And they're 10 games this year for Minnesota. 6 of them have been decided on the final snap. Literally, the Vikings have won 3 of those and lost 3 of those. Patrick Peterson after the game. Hopefully going forward, we can kind of find our way to put forks in teams, put them way when we have to. We're still trying to learn how to do that. I think continuing to have these situations will continue to get us better. They haven't been able to put the fork in anybody all year. Good game here. It feels like a field goal game. -2.5, +3.5. You find them. Worth betting.
Yeah, that's a good one. We got a marquee matchup up next. LA Rams, Green Bay Packers, Teddy, 4:25 Eastern, 1:25 Pacific kick. 48.5 being the total in Lambeau. We're seeing pick'em or -1 for the Packers at home, mostly -1 out there in the marketplace. What are we thinking? Rams and Packers in Lambeau on Sunday, Teddy.
Look ahead line, Green Bay 1.5 and 50. My powering number is 1. The markets are 1. There are a couple of 1.5s out there, but basically 150, which is exactly where we're supposed to be and exactly where my number is. You have the Rams off a bye and back-to-back losses. They lost to the Titans by 12 and the 49ers by 21. They played poorly in both those ball games. One would anticipate LA's coming out of this bye at Lambeau, even though we're an LA team. It's a statement game for the road team. That said, and of course you have a Packers team where Aaron Rodgers is, talking about his toe, quote, "It's very, very painful. I got stepped on in the first half. That kind of activated all the symptoms I was having. It's going to be another painful week next week, and then hopefully I can get healed up during the bye." That's a concerning quote for me. And of course, it took a while for the Packers to get going yesterday, and then Rodgers threw touchdown passes on Green Bay's final 4 possessions, all 74-yard drives or more. Injuries on the offensive line for Green Bay as well. Concerned Elton Jenkins went down with an injury in the fourth quarter. And of course, without Rashawn Gary, the pass rush wasn't there. They don't have Zarius Smith and Whitney Merciless both hurt as well. Those are concerns for Green Bay moving forward. This line's shorter than a field goal for a reason. And I don't know that we're going to see a ton of Rams money. This is not an emergency betting alert game, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some. Markets are concerned about Aaron Rodgers' toe.
Good stuff, Teddy. Guys, the Sunday Nighter and the Monday Nighter to end it. We get Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens up next. We're seeing the Ravens -4-point home favorites, 46.5 being the total. Teddy, Sunday Nighter, Cleveland and Baltimore.
Yeah, I would expect Lamar Jackson to be back. I made a 5-point powering difference if he isn't. If it's another game with Ty Huntley for Baltimore, I Cleveland a 1-point favorite. My powering number with a healthy Lamar Jackson is Baltimore as 4-point chalk. The look-ahead line was 5.5 and 48. So we have seen some adjustment in favor of the Browns. And Cleveland is a mess right now for injuries too. Yeah, the fact that they couldn't put away the Lions yesterday is not a surprise. Baker Mayfield, limited. He has shoulder injuries. He has foot injuries. He has knee injuries. He said he was more beat up than at any point in his career. He threw a first-half pick. He threw a second-half pick. He had no turnovers. When the game ended, he went straight to the locker room. He didn't shake hands with anyone. He didn't talk to reporters after the game. And he was off target all game. He got booed in that contest. Baker's not right now. And that's definitely a concern for a Cleveland team that has plenty of other injuries besides just Baker Mayfield. But laying points with Baltimore is hard to do, man. All that team does is rally from behind. When Lamar Jackson's curled up in a corner on the plane, this team is very happy with what they did to get the win. Marlon Humphrey, I think it means a lot going to the game. There's a lot of not knowing what's going to happen. We have 2 corners go down all week. You don't have Lamar, and then he comes back on Friday. You're like, we're good. And you see him on the plane curled up in a ball, and I look over, I'm like, I don't think this guy is going to be able to play. It was just crazy. Divisional game for Baltimore at home. I don't know. Is it a field goal game? I won't be laying with the Ravens this week, despite my concerns about the Browns right now.
Good points, as always, from Teddy Covers. Guys, we got the last game up. It's the Monday Nighter next week. Seattle Seahawks, Washington football team, 46 being the total at most shops. Teddy, we're seeing a pick'em or -1 football team at home. Actually, there's a -1 on the Seahawks. So if you're shopping around, you can get either team as the dog. What are we liking here? Seahawks and football team, Teddy, Monday Nighter next week.
I'm tempted to doodly-oop those one as well. Let's do it. The markets, they are crashing on the Seattle Seahawks as we speak. If you like Washington, find a pick 'em, bet it right now. They'll go off as a favorite in this game everywhere. Look ahead line was 3.5. Total of 48. My powering numbers, Washington 1. The markets opened 1.5 for Seattle last night, and all the money's come on Washington for good reason. All right. This is the Seahawks team again. Less than 20 minutes of possession yesterday against an Arizona team playing with a backup quarterback. All right. They got booed off the field a couple times yesterday. The 12th man not pleased. Russell Wilson, 10 years in the league, had never lost 3 games in a row until here. No touchdown in 20 drives where they got one in the fourth quarter last week. Their top 2 cornerbacks are out. They were forced to play zone last week. Pete Carroll, after the game, looked like a coach who's ready to hang it up. He left the press conference. He came back. And, I'm just disappointed I have to keep coming back and talking about the same stuff. I don't feel like I have good answers for you because our answers so far have not turned it. They haven't. Seattle's a 3-7 football team that's made the playoffs every year. Going on the road to Washington, a Washington team that's getting better every week. And it was a big win for Washington over, Ron Rivera over his former teams. But, I like the quotes from the other teams. Panthers cornerback Dante Jackson talking about Taylor Heineke. Quote, you can always count on him to be a fighter, a competitor. Just plays to win. Doesn't matter if he hands it off 100 times or I'll throw it 100 times. He really competed for those guys today. I'm impressed with how much he has improved since he left Carolina. Heineke had a QB rating of 141.3 yesterday against a good defense. They're getting healthier on offense. Gibson's back healthy. McLaurin's back healthy. They closed out the game just like the previous week with a big boy scoring drive. There are things to like about the Washington football team right now. In Seattle, the team headed in the wrong direction. The market's likely to show that as this week progresses. I expect to see at least some money for the Washington football team. I'd pick them right now. The pick'ems may not be there. I don't think they'll be there by kickoff next Monday.
Washington football team with the emergency betting alert on the pick'em price there, guys. The market's crashing on the Seahawks. I like how you did that, Teddy. Guys, check out Teddy Covers, WagerTalkSportsMemo.com. He's got his 5% play up, NBA free play as well. 56% winners going all the way back to 2015 in the NFL betting markets. Also 58% winners, all plays of the last 4 weeks. Teddy Covers seeing it well on multiple fronts. Check him out, WagerTalk or SportsMemo.com. And right here on the NFL Opening Line Report each and every Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Teddy, any final thoughts here for the show before we shut it down?
So again, I want to thank everyone. Really, it's Thanksgiving. I got to thank all you guys. The response to the show has been amazing this year. The comments every week on YouTube are amazing. And you and I both go through them every week. Even Thanksgiving week, I'll find a time to get in there and answer some of your questions. We really appreciate it. Enjoy yourself this weekend. I hope we help you pick some winners. And what else do I got to say? Thanks for watching. Enjoy the games. Good luck. Sure, all that stuff, Drew.
Absolutely. Be safe out there, guys. Enjoy the holiday weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. For Teddy Covers, I am Drew Martin. Hey, it's always fun to eat some turkey, some mashed potatoes, and cash these tickets on the right side of some of these moves. So hopefully we helped you out. For Teddy Covers, I'm Drew Martin. Guys, please smash that like button. Feel free to comment below. And we'll talk next week, 10 a.m. Pacific time, right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Best of luck with your bets until then. Thanks for tuning in.
7 days for under $10 a day. There are 2 college football games Tuesday night, 4 NFL and 2 college football games on Thanksgiving, 16 college football games on Black Friday, plus a full Saturday and Sunday of college football and NFL action. Add in any NBA, college basketball, and NHL action, and it's an awesome week of sports. We are so very thankful that you are current or maybe a new client of Wager Talk, and we want to give you our best once-a-year price for a 7-day all-sport, all-access package. Enjoy the holiday with family and friends, and don't worry about missing plays throughout the week if you're traveling. That's right, only $69 for 7 full days of college football, NFL, NBA, college hoops, NHL, and any other plays your favorite capper releases. Happy Thanksgiving and safe travels for those hitting the road from our Wager Talk family to yours.